Man, post-it notes are actually quite small for capital letter writing. So, in our verbatim process so far, we've looked at what the basics of verbatim theatre is, interviewed a few people, transcribed those interviews, and then we've actually performed as that person. And dare I say it, actually, that was quite fun. Whilst I've never dressed up as my mother before, going through that process was actually quite interesting because I learned how she spoke, and it really challenged me to think about how my vocals were, how I move, based on what she did in that interview. Now, in this lesson, we're going to take the project a little bit further by working in groups to combine those interviews to build a bigger script that you can then use as a final performance. Let's get into it. So, task 1, however you're working at the moment, whether that's on Teams or Zoom or Google Classroom, or if you're lucky enough to actually be working in a proper classroom right now, very jealous if you are, you're going to be approaching this task in groups of 4. 3 could work, 5 could work as well, but try to stick to the number 4 if you can. There's going to be a lot of information coming from everybody, and you don't want to be giving yourself more work than is necessary. So your first job is actually quite broad. Between everybody in your group, you're going to pull together the interviews, the transcriptions, all the information that you've obtained in the last 3 lessons, and you're going to try and find a theme or a topic or a thread, a link, something that gels your scripts together in some way, shape or form. Let me give you a few examples. Bit dusty. Trusty post-it notes. So an example of this might be exercise. Family, work-related comments. It could be that some of your characters are a similar age, have similar jobs or backgrounds. Positive and negative statements. It's got to be in red, isn't it? Sad face. Or it might also be to do with agreements or disagreements on a certain subject. Go there. Whatever the links are in your group, put them on paper if you need to, and then add them all into a shared Word document that you can all collaborate on remotely. You can do this on Teams, Google Classroom. I don't think you can do it on Zoom. But if that's really not possible, then nominate one person to be the document keeper, the keeper of the document, and send them the information that you want to put in.
Now, this last entry was a little disturbing.
So once you've identified 3, maybe 4 different links, it's time to move on to task 2. This is the fun bit where you get to start creating the story that you want to tell. You need to cut those transcriptions and merge them together to make it look like these people are in the same space, kind of responding to each other's answers. I knew I had a pair of scissors somewhere. Whoa, they're quite sharp actually. Now let me give you a bit more of an example on how this might look. I've got 4 people in my project. Okay, let's say somebody else in my group has done an interview with their nan. Perfect. And there's Auntie. So we've got 4 characters here that we're all bringing to the table in some way, shape or form. And it's quite easy to go 1, 2, 3, 4, performance over. But that isn't going to create comedy. That isn't going to create tension between these characters. It's not going to create drama. So what you're going to do in your group is you're going to cut them up. Now it might be that my mum said something about walking the dog. Nan absolutely hates dogs entirely. So we're going to take the bit of Nan that absolutely hates dogs and we're going to put that next to Mum. Auntie, who is in the NHS, we can have her perspective there. You get the idea. You're going to be cutting whatever they say and you're going to be creating a script, moving them around. So you kind of want to be looking for agreements, disagreements to create some comedy. And trust me, when you start weaving this together, partnered with how you act them together, this is just such a cool process to be involved in. So I'll move them aside for the moment. So let's say our topic was exercise. Character 1, 2, 3, character 4. Character 1 might have said, oh yeah, I'm getting loads more time to do that stuff. Like since lockdown, I've set myself a morning routine for fitness, I'm on a new diet, and it's great to get out and walk our new dog too. Like didn't realize how much they needed walking, but still it keeps the heartbeat up and the pounds down. Winning. Character 2 might then say, yeah, it's tough, you know, it's like really struggling with my motivation, you know, just like getting up in the morning, like switching on the lights. Character 3 might be like, exercise? Nah, don't be silly, I haven't got time for that. Too much going on here as it is with homeschooling. Feeding the kids, working from home, tidying up after everyone else's. And then character 4, yes, we get out for walks, socially distanced, of course. Pretty sure that's allowed, isn't it? They're all saying different things, they have different opinions, but we're bunching them together so that the kind of theme and the conversation around exercise comes through with a bit more comedy and a bit more tension between them. So you get the idea. You're going to be creating a new script by cutting together snippets of what people have already said. Now, this doesn't always work, and sometimes you might need to exercise that creative license in a different way. What I might like to do is go to the internet, and I might see if I can find a video on Boris Johnson talking about the restrictions on lockdown exercise. Let's see if we can find something. Exercise. Let's see if we can find a video of him. Okay, coronavirus rules. Fantastic. This is what I want to see.
You may only leave home for limited reasons permitted in law, such as to shop for essentials, to work if you absolutely cannot work from home, to exercise. Full details of what you can and can't do will be available at gov.uk/coronavirus.
So he hasn't actually mentioned what you can and can't do around exercise, but he has said that the full details are on the .gov website. So it says here that you can exercise in a public outdoor space by yourself with the people you live with your support bubble, or when on your own, with one person from another household. So Boris Johnson doesn't actually say that in his speech, but because this is verbatim theatre, we can actually take that statement and use our creative license to imply that Boris Johnson has said it. You can exercise in a public outdoor space by yourself, with the people you live with your support bubble if you are legally permitted to form one, or when on your own with one other person from another household. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that in there like this. But even going a step forward with editing your script, you could actually take this character 4 and I'm just going to chop it up a little bit, and I'm going to put Boris Johnson's words in the middle there. Let's just get 3 bullet points in there. Having that in the middle changes the comedy and changes the tone of the piece. So it might sound a little bit like this. Yeah, we get out for walks, socially distanced, of course. Pretty sure that's allowed, isn't it? You can exercise in a public outdoor space, or when on your own with one person from another household. Hang on. Can I drive to a place for exercise? That counts, right? So you get the idea. It's almost like that character 4 is in direct conversation with Boris and asking the questions that we're all asking the government anyway. So you see, using additional research, could be from a newspaper, it might be a tweet, whatever it is, you can develop the script in the way that you want to using your creative license card. So that's probably enough to get you started. Just remember to create those agreements and disagreements, positive comments, negative comments, because that is where the comedy and the tension and the entertaining factor comes in. I do hope you enjoy writing your verbatim theatre scripts, and I'll see you in the next lesson.